Josh, we were talking about textual history.
This is being filmed, I'm just telling you, but I've got a mic, so go on.
Well, we just went through textual history, and we were talking about the differences between the transmission of the Jewish text and the transmission of the Bible. And the claim he was making was that they have familial heritage, talking about Moses. And I said, well, yeah, you have familial heritage, and that's fine, I understand that. But if you're going to use that criteria to attack the Christian churches, then you've at the same time got to be able to look at the Christian church and their transmission and their tradition of text, and really understand that they themselves are backing up not only what is being written in the book, but also they're backing up the type of criteria you're using for the text itself. So it's like,
I think that once you get, I'm looking for Josh to see if he can hear me. Once you get to the point of Jews having to dig out Christian, like in my experience, it's normally like as if it doesn't exist. Do you know what I mean? Like as in what New Testament, what New Covenant. So therefore, just the fact that even a little niggling polemic against Christian transmission of the Bible, he started to. He told me that he was reading through the New Testament, so maybe he's getting a bit antsy. Maybe he needs to start detracting.
He's got a lot of good points. For example, he made up the point that there's a familial heritage between Moses and all the connections.
But we have a familial heritage. We're adopted in. No, we're adopted into Israel, we're into that family.
But we also have the church, which, by the way, in the first century, they mass-produced all of the writings of the gospel. Within like Paul's letters, we find that they were started to be transmitted within 40 AD. So it's like we have an all.
The other thing to consider is that when they say things like, "Wow, in the 4th century, everyone took that bit out," that means that someone would have had to go door to door across an empire and ask them, could you please take page 97 out now? Like, it's an impossible, it doesn't make any sense to assume. It's like saying we have to take out page 7 of today's Daily Telegraph, so let's get on it.
My point was, because I showed him the text, like Lucian, for example, who agrees that Jesus existed, Josephus, for example, Tacitus. I've told him all this stuff, and I've said, if your enemy, any criterion can suggest it, if your enemy says that you existed at some point in time, then it's obvious you existed. There is no agenda.
If detractors are also affirming you, then it's a pretty done deal. So, are you gonna pick up the conversation maybe at a future time or in a minute when
I might do it now or I might do it later. But what I want to do is I want to learn more about it, because I wasn't even coming to debate you, so I was going to debate some Unitarians.
I saw 1 or 2 floating about. Not literally levitating, that would be crazy. But there's a couple of them here.
I think Daisy's turned it off. I don't know if this thing.
No, I don't. I'm pretty sure it's on. Anyway, over and out. Roger. But I've got to have a cigarette. You can do it to camera if you want to.
Yeah. Hello. Read the Bible. Don't be a Unitarian. It's not good to be a Unitarian, by the way. And I spoke to this one Unitarian who believed that Jesus wasn't preeminent. That means he didn't exist before he was born. And I was going to tell him about John 17:24 today, which basically says that they had glory together. Him and the Father had glory together before the world was. So, yep.
The thing is, what I would say is that anyone who thinks that Christ is part of creation has misunderstood the verse that says he is firstborn over all creation. If you want to get technical, he's also firstborn of the dead, but he's not the first person to come back from the dead, because Lazarus, firstborn is a term of preeminence. It's not a chronological statement. King David is not firstborn of all kings. There were kings before him. There were children of his parents before him.
I mean, John even says, remember what John says? John says that he is come before me. He's talking about Jesus. So
boom! And he was 6 months older than him, literally. So we know that for a fact. So don't listen to that. Also, if you find that people are relying on one verse, there will be lots and lots of verses to counter it if the truth, people who stop halfway through a verse, it's always very suspicious. Keep reading, or read the prior bit, or find out who he's talking to, or find out if it's a rhetorical question that he's asking, or if it's sarcasm kind of thing. Find out the context, because it's literally key, and your salvation could depend on it. So let's not skimp on the reading. You can get it on an audio book if you really have to. But I'm going to wrap this up for a little while and see if I can, I don't know, get my life in order. All right, lots of love. God bless.